Thank you, Bambi, for having Smule join you tonight. We're big fans of Vader, and I don't know if I have any pearls of wisdom for my fellow entrepreneurs, but I'll share with you how we're approaching our business and some of the problems we're facing and some of the opportunities we see on this platform. Here you have in front of you a picture of T-Pain. How many know who T-Pain is? Raise your hands. T-Pain. Okay. Savary, I didn't see you raise your hand. Okay, all right, thanks, good. So here's T-Pain using one of Smule's first products, the Sonic lighter. After one of his concerts, he launched the virtual cigarette lighter and, in fact, blew out the flame. It's a big moment on YouTube for all of us, and hence the featured graphic in my presentation. I'm joking around, trying to have a little fun. So I'm going to do my best here to get us back on track for the schedule. I think that I'm going to truncate my presentation somewhat, hold me to that, so we could have ample room for the more deserving entrepreneurs out there that I'm sure won't need a little face time and hopefully have an opportunity to show you what they're all about. Okay. Oh, one anecdote I wanted to share with you. It's kind of funny to think about Smule up here alongside Zynga. It reminds me of when our first partner meeting a year and a half ago, we were presenting Smule in front of a partnership at an established and renowned venture firm. And in the middle of our presentation, as we're talking about our plans for the iPhone and how this is a revolutionary thing, the carriers are finally out of the way, everybody's got a data plan without tariffs, we have an open distribution channel, the hardware's interesting, we don't have to have our R&D distributed across 100 different platforms. We can actually make money and innovate. And one of the partners then points out, well, Nokia will sell more phones in 1 week than Apple will sell in 1 year. And so when I was thinking about this presentation and Mark's company, of course we don't know how much revenue Mark actually does, he's kind of private about these things, but it occurred to me that Smule will do more revenue in 1 week than Zynga will do in 1 year. I may have that the other way around. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. It's either we're going to do more in a year than him in a week or a week in a year. But it's one of those two. Yeah. Anyway, we're actually off to a pretty good start. We closed a C round in December and off to the races. Okay, so just briefly, and by the way, it's Smule. It's not Shmule. It's not S-Mule. It's Smule. Okay? And it's specifically short for Sonic Mule, sound, and the mule. The mule. Okay. So our mission. We think audio is awesome. We have a bunch of folks that are really good in audio that did PhDs at places like Stanford and Princeton, built new audio languages, and we're out to realize the immense potential of audio. And audio goes far beyond recorded sound, which is really a passive experience. We also believe that people are creative. They just need a little nudge. And not a hammer, but a little nudge. And if we give them a little nudge, it's amazing what people are capable of doing. Sometimes it disgusts us, sometimes it surprises us in very positive ways, but this is part of our belief. And so we're not building products that kind of put a ceiling on top of what you can do and dumb it down. We really do try to open it up and say, show us what you got. And then finally, through this exploration of really new media, which we could call sonic media, or which you could call enhanced user-generated content, we're trying to create an interactive platform that literally is connecting people across the globe. I'll give you some examples to try to illustrate what we mean by that. So, first off, we focus on audio. We think a lot about music, and specifically social music. It's a domain we're quite fond of. But as you all know, music's changed a lot. Here's an example of where music was about 100 years ago. This is premiere of Gustav Mahler's 8th Symphony in Philadelphia. If you can see the photograph, it's not a small symphony orchestra that's putting on this production, and it's 4 full choirs. It's a fantastic piece if you've ever had a chance to listen to it. But the fact is, before this Edison guy and the recording cylinder, very few people had an opportunity to experience this music. You either had to bang it out on your piano, get your wife or friend to sing it, or you had to be lucky that the symphony's coming to town, that month or the next month, and maybe you can hear a couple of pieces. Well, so we got this recording cylinder, and now music's really become a passive experience where push the CD in and listen and go to sleep or do your homework, what have you. Ultimately, we think it's a social experience, and it's a new social medium, and that's what excites us about Smule, connecting people through this medium. So here's music where it was, and here's perhaps one vision of music today. So this is my co-founder, Dr. Go Wong, with the renowned Stanford iPhone Orchestra with their concert last December, which, by the way, did make the front page of the New York Times. This was the image that the Times ran. And so it's a new experiment of how these people connected across a network can create sound together. The concert was pretty good. In fact, Spencer's here. He wrote one of the pieces. Spencer, I thought your piece was one of the better pieces of the concert. I wanted to be on record saying that. So we've shipped 7 applications. They've done well. 7 paid applications. Our leaf trombone and our T-Pain application were recognized as 2 of the top applications last year on the phone. That's a reasonable distinction given there were 90,000 applications that shipped last year. Our Sonic Lighter continues to be one of my personal favorites. It was the first product we shipped. Yeah, and at the time, for those that were counting, it was the 19th virtual cigarette lighter that launched in the Apple Store. So where are we going? Well, we've built this network behind our products, and frankly, that's the first thing we built, and ultimately that's this goal. And so a lot of our R&D actually doesn't even happen on the device. It's up in the cloud. With our Sonic Lighter, the first network experience was very basic. It's awareness. You ignite your flame, you click on our globe icon, you literally get a real-time view of everyone else igniting. And it was a fascinating thing to see in the early days of the iPhone, because what we were really doing was we were tracking iPhone propagation across the globe. Initially, China was dark. If you look at that same map today, China's on fire. In fact, 5% of our user base is China. The flip side of that is only 0.1% of our revenue is China. So there's a bit of a flip-flop going on there, users versus revenue. It's all good, though. We want users. We want users coming onto our network. And here you have an example of a passive experience of self-expression. And that dude over there was dumb enough to also shell out $1 for this product. Awesome. Sweet. And we had a lot of fun with this in that we started ranking cities by kilojoules burned. And for a while there, Tokyo and Paris were neck and neck. And it was hysterical to bring up a map of downtown Paris and see literally all of the flames that were igniting. And there were literally thousands of flames in downtown Paris. The Quartier Latin was on fire. So anyway, it was an interesting kind of social test to see what was going on. And this brings up, I think, the point I wanted to make here beyond where we're going, and that is that the discipline we have at Smule is that we don't know anything, that we're completely naive, and that if anybody gets up to the whiteboard and starts pontificating, we need to shut them up. That's usually me, by the way. So, because the fact is, all the rules of this market has changed, and so the discipline we're therefore trying to build is postulate, test, measure, iterate. And so everything we do is a test. In this product, the Sonic Lighter, as we're building the network, we built our own analytics engine. There wasn't anything on the market at the time because we wanted to see exactly what our users were doing. Our next product, a virtual firecracker, we wanted to see how many people would do a phone-to-phone social interaction. In this case, we built a little network stack on top of sound. So I could literally ignite your firecracker from my phone on your phone. And then we measured it. How many people are doing this? Well, it turns out a year and a half ago, it was only like 3%. The numbers are now growing to 12, 13, 14%, even though, we're not out there pushing these products. The conclusion we had at the time was we just don't have enough people on the iPhone to have interesting kind of device-to-device social interactions. But again, these are things that we test, we measure, and we iterate, and then we try to learn as a company. And we try each step of the way to get a little bit closer to our customer, to our end user, and to understand what's motivating them. Well, after the Sonic Lighter and some other products, we rolled out the Ocarina. The Ocarina turns your phone into a fluke-like instrument. We're going to be demonstrating that in a little bit. It was magical. And we're very serious about it. We weren't trying to put a flute on your phone. We were trying to change your phone into an expressive musical instrument. And what happened was we would basically periodically peer into your phone and share a snippet of what you're playing with everyone else around the world. And so there's this fascinating experience. You click on the globe in Ocarina and you hear somebody's breath in Tokyo or in Cairo. And it's a wild feeling to think about, wow, there's a person on the other side of the world that's playing this music and I'm hearing it. And they're as bad as I am. And in fact, that was one of the design criteria our co-founder came up with, is like, should we allow people to dictate what performance they're sharing for this product? And we decided no. We decided it's random. We're going to decide with these server controls what snippet we're pulling out. Because what we want to do is kind of share the overall experience of how people are really bad, and some people stay really bad, and some people actually get better. But this almost created a connection of sorts, an identification for the other folks that are struggling with this. But to date, we've had 40 million songs streamed across the globe with our users. And we still have thousands of these products that's getting downloaded every day here a year and 3 months after we shipped it. Ultimately, we're building this sonic network, a new fabric that allows massive scale, collaboration, group expression, discovery, participation. This sounds kind of ambiguous and opaque. Stay tuned. There's a lot of stuff happening this year with our product strategy that we're rolling out that will provide some greater clarity on what this network means, but it really is this fabric that's connecting our user base together. And so when you think about it, we're almost using this application business as a means to an end, as a means to capture users, to capture content, to populate our network. And as we continue to populate our network and expand the set of services on the network, we think it becomes more interesting. And ultimately, this is what we plan to monetize in our business beyond just strict monetization of device sales or in-app commerce sales or virtual goods. Okay, so let me introduce our Chief Marketing Officer at Smule, plural. So the approach we've taken to selling the equivalent of candy bars, unbranded candy bars, is really to take that end user and to make them front and center in the marketing equation. Okay? And so when we put a product plan together, we actually build a forecast across the 6 marketing channels that we track, and we try to make an assessment as to what extent this particular product is going to succeed in this marketing channel versus that marketing channel, specifically with our end users driving value through the product. Okay? And so this becomes really fundamental to our equation of how we've built, at this point, a sustainable business with virtually 0 marketing dollars being spent. And our VP Marketing is sitting here with me. Mike, that's true, isn't it? Now, we throw James a bone for PR. Where's James? Atomic. Okay, yeah. We pay Atomic PR. And by the way, it's a very good firm. Don't use them if you're a competitor of ours. But beyond that, the marketing is all about our end users. That is the marketing machine. And so, in essence, the marketing problem is part of the product problem. We don't build a product and throw it over the wall and say, all right, guys, go sell it. We, in fact, think, what is the use case that's going to drive this user to share this experience with you word of mouth out of the gate? What's this use case that's going to drive this user to push their enhanced user-generated content onto Facebook so that I can get another 20, 50, 100 eyeballs on that content that can bring our users back into our site or perhaps into the App Store and drive more sales of our products? And so this ends up being a formula that we then test, measure, and iterate also for all of our products. And so the bulk of the presentation that I'm going to have with you before I open up to questions is I want to show you some specific examples of what our users are doing to market our products. Okay, so here's example number 1. We launched the Leaf trombone, and here's Rhett and Link. Let's do a quick sound check. Sweet. Rhett and Link, straight from North Carolina.
Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to the deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. A whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up
They're awesome. And so here's an example. And it's one of the advantages of focusing specifically on our domain on this platform versus games. If I were to create a teaser video in a game showing you why the game was compelling, are you going to share that with a friend? Versus, here an expressive musical experience that you could participate in too. This ends up being a little bit higher on the viral scale. I hate that word, by the way, but I'll use it a few times. So Rhett and Link. Here's another example. We call this Sonic Art. So here's a dude that's using our Sonic glider in downtown Pasadena and walking down a block and igniting his flame every step of the way so that when you go to our website and see where somebody's ignited the flame, he could spell out a word. Hi. Sonic Art. Apparently the guy's a 63-year-old retired gentleman, Turner. Right. He's awesome. Here's another example. Here's a user a student down in San Antonio, Texas, who actually is pretty good. He's an Ocarina performer, and he created this video to the theme from one of the video games. Here, I'll play it for you. That's David. So here's an example of other structured content created by our users. We opened up a forum to allow people to create tablature form sheet music to teach other people how to play the ocarina. In this case, it's the theme from Titanic, and you can see this is not for the faint at heart. But this was created by one of our users. And if you do a search on popular music day on Google, you're going to see a fairly significant page rank for our forums, which now have 4,000 songs in sheet music form. And so if you want to learn how to play a song and you don't know how to play the piano or you don't know how to sing, cough up a buck and go to our forum, check it out. But we put up the score creator, we put up 5 songs, and our users did the rest. All right, so I'm going to end with the final video. So our T-Pain product allows you to sing in auto-tune, so we're going to correct your pitch so you don't sound horrible. And we're going to put a T-Pain background track behind it. And then we launched a contest to get our users out there to put some of their content on YouTube, an important marketing channel for us. Here's the winner. I apologize in advance for the language. I apologize in advance for some of the images. But this was one of the winners, and they basically did a spoof on the On a Boat video that T-Pain had done on Saturday Night Live with Andy Samberg, for those that have seen it.
Dude, the new BBM is sick.
Dude, I am T-Pain.
Oh, shit, yeah. Geronimo's ready, it's about to go down. Everybody in the band is a fucking death. But stay on your motherfucking toes. We running this, let's go. I'm on a phone, everybody. on my phone, bitch. I'll send that shit to your phone, cause I got MMS. And I got Safari, son. I got that Google Maps. They call me Steve Jobs, cause I got so many apps.
I'm talking all my Bluetooth, making deals and shit. No codes are clashing, so my hands are free to knit. They think I'm talking to myself, but I'm just calling my vet. I'm on the phone, motherfucker, don't you ever forget.
I'm on the phone and my battery's lasting. My speakerphone lets me put your girlfriend on blast. And I'm the king of the world, on in a phone, not a trio. Alexander Graham Bell, he ain't got shit on me, yo. Get the fuck up, this phone is free.
Fuck mail, I'm on the phone, motherfucker. Fuck pages, I make calls, motherfucker. I'm emailing with my thumbs, motherfucker. The telegram was just dumb, motherfucker.
Hey, Mom, you can see me now. Just sent a Twitter post while I was underground. Gonna use this phone to get laid somehow. With my T-Pain out, anything is possible. Never thought I'd be on a phone. It's a wide 32 gigabyte. I got that AT&T. Never thought it'd be the day when I'm gonna get back on my way. Leave me when I see your BlackBerry yeah.
Fuck you.
Thank you.